Alright, so a lot of you guys might not know that before Sneako fell down his red pill raging, Andrew Tate meat riding rabbit hole, he actually made very profound, thought-provoking content over on YouTube. He would post these beautifully shot videos with a premise or topic that would be philosophical to say the very least, and even in some cases you might end up leaving the video with a different perspective on life as a whole. And in this video today, I want to watch an old Sneako video that I remember he posted a while ago before his channel got banned and before he fell down the red pill rabbit hole, and I want to show you this piece of media because this was one video I remember watching from Sneako that I found super, profound and genuinely touching. I thought it was cool, and it's called Sneako, Falling in Love is Corny, But I'm Still Lonely, re-uploaded. This video is going to be a different change of pace, and a part of what I want to do with this video is actually try to give you something more profound than normal. Normally, I'm cracking jokes, talking about drama, whatever, and I know that I can use Sneako's name in the title on this, so the people that are hungry for drama may click, and perhaps, hey, if you're here for that, maybe stick around to the end of the video and see what we have to say about this one. And let's talk about love. Love is something that is incredibly complicated. I'm 20 years old. I don't know what love is. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Love is an incredibly complex and complicated, multifaceted feeling that is hard to describe, but we also use it every day. You know, people love things. They love doing things. They love people. They love shows. They love YouTubers. Some people even comment, "I love you, Acheeto. I love your videos." But what the fuck is love? Does anyone actually know? And not to get all the political and economic state of the world on you, and not to get overly deep or anything, but for someone to tackle this topic in a way that is engaging and thought-provoking is challenging enough, but for that person to have been Sneako and for him to make an incredible video on it is insane. Just watch, I guess.
Color my life with the chaos of trouble. That's a line from a Smith song that this girl used as her senior quote in a corny-ass movie from 2011, but it sounded cool, so I wrote it on my wall and dreamt about one day someone coming into my life and coloring it with the chaos of trouble.
That quote is so interesting because it's basically suggesting that you'd rather be in an insane love situation where everything's kind of fucked up and you're constantly on the edge, but you're feeling real things. You know, the color of chaos. It's yeah, your life is chaotic, it's in disarray, everything's insane, all these moving pieces are tearing you apart, but it's colorful, it's vibrant, there's energy, there's feeling, there's emotion. You're not just waking up with no fucking feelings in your brain, desensitized to everyone and everything around you, to the point where basically waking up is no different than you being asleep in the first place. It's this demand that people have to just be alive, and in order for that to happen, they would literally be in fucking miserable relationships, or constantly in some sort of cycle of abuse where at least they feel like life is happening, you know, things are going on, than to just be a fucking zombie in the Matrix.
I've always been like that, feeling like I need something more, and like many others, I've tried to fill that void with attention, with drugs, with sex, and especially with love. I'm part of that generation that watched Good Will Hunting and listened to Kanye's 808s and Heartbreak and doesn't think that they can be happy without falling in love. You know who I'm talking about, those dudes who have a rough exterior but deep down they got a soft side. We're corny as fuck. I don't even get sad after a breakup because of how cool it is to actually have feelings. My wife could cheat on me, take half my assets, my dog, my little son Timmy, and I'll be homeless thinking, whoa, emotions are dope. That's because falling in love is some shit people made up because we got bored. Color my life with the chaos of trouble? Why? Are you stupid? Why would you want someone to artistically fuck your shit up? It's because we enjoy the rush of love. It's like a game. It's just as thrill-seeking as getting high or skydiving.
And not to glaze, but the way that he's able to represent what he's saying with these little doodles combined with the footage that he shot, I find pretty fucking good. And he still makes videos similar to this. I did see he made something on Twitter called Why I Love the Unabomber, which was honestly pretty thought-provoking as well. I like that piece of media that he made. But I find this one specifically just so touching because I think it's crazy. He was, what, 21 when he made this video, and he's yet, you know, surgically dismantling this incredibly fucking crazy topic of love and relationship. People are miserable after a bad relationship. People want to die after a bad relationship. They think of doing horrible things to themselves, to others. They fall down addictions like gambling or drugs just to cope with that feeling of loss. But yet for some reason, a lot of the times when people break up and they're fresh out of a relationship, the first thing that they can think of is, how do I get back to a new relationship? Who's my rebound? It's this idea that once you're on the roller coaster, you need to stay on at all times. Even if it makes you sick and you're throwing up the whole time, you don't want to get off the fucking ride. You don't want to stand and watch everyone else having their hands in the air. Even if they're throwing up and they're sick and they're dizzy and they want to get off, at least they're doing something.
You ascend and you crash. You win and you lose. And if it sounds like I'm talking bullshit, there's dozens of studies detailing how the euphoria of love elicits the same sensation in the brain as cocaine. You crackheads. No other species does this falling in love shit. Chimpanzees aren't sitting in bed wrapped in a blanket wondering if it's too clingy to double text that orangutan with the bubble butt. Monkeys don't dress up and go to Olive Garden because they want to fuck. They just fuck. It's amazing. They could just be eating bananas, killing mosquitoes, and boom, just start fucking. We overcomplicated this, bro. How come I gotta put on cologne and she has to say, I don't usually do this? Falling in love doesn't make any sense biologically. It's a new human emotion based entirely on jealousy, egoism, and insecurity. You weirdos decided love means by law, we will stay together forever. And if we don't, then take half of my money. Why? And I'm not cold-hearted because love alone is definitely real. It's something we share with our family, our friends, our pets, and with the world. It becomes this needy, possessive, specifically—
God, I love the fucking color correction on this. I'm not a film nerd or anything like that, but the way that this is shot, I don't know if this is his footage or someone he paid to go out and take shots of whatever country this is and on the water, but god damn, it looks so good. The blues and the blacks, everything is so fucking nice. Bro is glazing! Okay, I like the film, give me a break. But to actually unpack the substance of what he's saying, he brought up the orangutans, right? How they just fuck and they just have sex and that's it. It's just a very primal species reproductive act. But with humans, you know, we don't do that. We actually have different kinds of emotions. We have things that we feel toward each other that allow for our complex relationships to blossom and bloom. And after a while, after years of knowing someone, you have a garden. You have children. Your personalities coalesce and complement each other, and you're developing not only each other, but your children and each other's families. And I think it's a beautiful thing. You become extensions of each other. Now, this might sound like a very, you know, obvious and likely thing, like, oh, fork found in kitchen, you know, love is good, marriage is good, obviously. But in the modern age, not only is there strength in numbers, but having strength in the numbers, but also having an emotional connection that's far below the surface with somebody else is just beautiful. I mean, think about it. Like, imagine getting an Uber Eats. You know, that's a person bringing you a slice of pizza, and it feels good, you know, you're having something done for you, and you're paying for it. Now, think of that exact same thing, but except it's your wife getting you a slice of pizza from the kitchen. It's the same fucking thing, but you know that she loves you, and that alone makes it just feel a billion times better and more personal and beautiful. The intent behind the action is something that is priceless, right? I mean, there's a reason your wife isn't flipping a fucking tablet to you after she brings you up food from the kitchen that has a 10%, 15%, and 20% tip option. Love is real, man, and you gotta not give up. I know there's a lot of people that are black-pilled in my audience, I can just tell, because the world is, like, very fucked up, and it's very hard to date as a young guy, and a lot of people were irreversibly mentally tarnished from COVID, and a lot of things that are currently happening in the world and the culture make it harder to believe in love or anything like that and believe in actual authentic connection. But just know that your time will come. Although that sounds challenging to believe and hard to envision, you need to just trust that men and women far more doubtful had far more, you just have to believe that there are men and women far more doubtful than you that came before you and ended up far happier than you could ever imagine.
Human emotion when y'all talk about finding the one. When I looked into her eyes, I just knew I needed to spend the rest of my life with her. Really? There might be something wrong with you, bro. Falling head over heels in love with someone is just you projecting your insecurities on another person. You're not happy with your own life, so you start seeking that in another person, which is just unrealistic and dangerous. Maybe you don't got any friends, your job sucks, you don't like yourself, maybe your mom didn't hug you enough. So now when you meet a baddie who laughs at your jokes, you latch onto them like a leech and go psycho when they even look at someone else. Because love is as addicting as a drug. The only two kinds of people who would slash your tires and then threaten suicide is a crackhead and a crazy bitch named Susan. But maybe I'm just lonely and bitter, because I've tried falling in love for years now, but it's never worked out for me.
Yeah, having a girlfriend sounds cool and stuff like that, but I don't want to like have to take her on dates or like have to care for her or have to do any relationship stuff. I just kind of want to cuddle once in a while and fuck.
So obviously relationships never worked out for me. When I was younger, I caught a terrible case of post-nut syndrome, where you think you like a girl, but you figure out you were thinking with the wrong head. Now I'm at the point where I'm open to the idea of love, but I can't hold conversations with girls my age. It seems like they live on Instagram and it's boring.
When they're talking about their makeup, their outfit, like their ex, I don't care. I don't care.
I realize me saying this is pretty ignorant though, because people happily fall in love all the time and it makes them happy. I just want the same feeling, even though I know it's basically just like crack for your heart. It does make me kind of bitter to see these people happily together, making each other promises they probably won't keep, because it seems like fun. Even though I got a little clout now and I get people on the internet saying that they love me and that I'm great, it's like the more popular I get, the lonelier that I feel. But as soon as I have someone laying down next to me in bed, all I can think about is how she's sweating on my brand new sheets. I guess I just like the idea of love. That's basically what that movie 500 Days of Summer was satirizing. The main character decided that this girl Summer was his soulmate because they both just like the same music or whatever, and then he painted this picture in his head that they were meant to be together, even though they obviously weren't. True love takes commitment, it takes patience, and attention, and that sounds like a lot of work, bro. I think I'd rather just scroll on Tinder and beat my meat and fall asleep.
Anyway, that was an old Sneako video that I remember watching back when it was out for a while before it got nuked off YouTube. And I think the entire premise of the video is highlighting something that was well articulated and definitely a lot different than what he's saying now. A lot different from the clips where he's smashing his keyboard and spamming the Allahu Akbar sound effect on his stream deck. And so I just wanted to share this one with you guys, just hear what he had to say, because I thought this message was actually pretty nice. And it's interesting because just like in a lot of different things, the hard work you put into a relationship or another person, whether that's a friend, a family member, or a lover, it does pay off. You know, when you put in energy, it doesn't get created or destroyed, it can only be moved. And when you move it around to the right people and you expend it to the right things, you will yield results. That's just how it works. And over time, I think that if you put your eggs in the right basket, whether that's work, people, whatever, in general, I think you'll end up a better, productive, happier person. And of all people to send that message out to the world, Sneako was an interesting messenger. Anyway though, if you guys end up enjoying this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Follow my social medias, links are all down below, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Goodbye.